My allergies are getting to me again. Okay, a silver cup in a sack. Now Joseph gave these instructions to the steward of his house: fill the men's sacks with as much food as they can carry, and put each man's silver in the mouth of his sack. Then put my cup, the silver one, in the mouth of the youngest one's sack, along with the silver for his grain. And he did as Joseph said. As morning dawned, the men were sent on their way with their donkeys. They had not gone far from the city when Joseph said to his steward, go after those men at once, and when you catch up with them, say to them, why have you repaid good with evil? Isn't this cup my master's drinks? Isn't this the cup my master drinks from and also uses for divination? This is a wicked thing you have done. Interesting. His brothers schemed and plotted against him. Now Joseph is using some tricks up his sleeve too. We'll see why. When he caught up with them, he repeated these words to them. But they said to him, why does my lord say such things? Far be it from your servants to do anything like that. We even brought back to you from the land of Canaan the silver we found inside the mouths of our sacks. So why would we steal silver or gold from your master's house? If any of your servants is found to have it, he will die, and the rest of us will become my lord's slaves. Very well, then, he said, let it be as you say. Whoever is found to have it will become my slave. The rest of you will be free from blame. Each of them quickly lowered his sack to the ground and opened it. Then the steward proceeded to search, beginning with the oldest and ending with the youngest, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. At this, they tore their clothes. Then they all loaded their donkeys and returned to the city. Transformation complete. So, to me, I feel like Joseph is testing his brothers to see what kind of character they really are now. Let's continue to read. Joseph was still in the house when Judah and his brothers came in, and they threw themselves to the ground before him. Joseph said to them, what is this you have done? Don't you know that a man like me can find things out of divination? He's lying to them. He's telling them that because that's what Egyptians did. They believed in sorcery, magicians, and in crafts and gods, and so he's still playing the role. He's playing a part. What can we say to my lord? Judah replied. What can we say? How can we prove our innocence? God has uncovered your servant's guilt. We are now my lord's slaves, we ourselves, and the one who was found to have the cup. But Joseph said, far be it from me to do such a thing. Only the man who was found to have the cup will become my slave. The rest of you go back to your father in peace. Then Judah went up to him and said, please, my lord, let your servant speak a word to my lord. Do not be angry with your servant, though you are equal to Pharaoh himself. My lord asked his servants, do you have a father or a brother? And we answered, we have an aged father, and there is a young son born to him in his old age. His brother is dead, and he is the only one of his mother's sons left, and his father loves him. Then you said to your servants, bring him down to me so I can see him for myself. And we said to my lord, the boy cannot leave his father. If he leaves him, his father will die. But you told your servants, unless your youngest brother comes down with you, you will not see my face again. When we went back to your servant, my father, we told him what my lord had said. Then our father said, go back and buy a little more food, but we said, we cannot go down. Only if our youngest brother is with us will we go. We cannot see the man's face unless our youngest brother is with us. Your servant, my father, said to us, you know that my wife bore me 2 sons. One of them went away from me, and I said, he has surely been torn to pieces, and I have not seen him since. If you take... We know he hasn't torn to pieces. And I have not seen him since. If you take this one from me too, and harm comes to him, you will bring my gray head down to the grave in misery. So now, If the boy is not with us when I go back to your servant my father, and if my father, whose life is closely bounded up with the boy's life, sees that the boy isn't there, he will die. Your servants will bring the gray head of our father down to the grave in sorrow. Your servant guaranteed the boy's safety to my father. I said, if I do not bring him back to you, I will bear the blame before you, my father, all my life. Now then, please let your servant remain here as my lord's slave in place of the boy, and let the boy return with his brothers. How can I go back to my father if the boy is not with me? No, do not let me see the misery that would come upon my father. Like I said, transformation complete. Judah is now taking up for his brother. He's being the protector. He's also willing to take his place. That's a very selfless act. Am I willing to take a selfless act such as that? You see that there's trouble up ahead. There's something that could go wrong. Do we place ourselves in harm's way ahead of someone else? Think about that. You can think about it in many different ways. Do you always have to have the best day? One thing that comes to mind, this may not come to your mind, but one thing comes to my mind is something as simple as a dinner setting. So you see that there's many choice foods. Do you run up and take the best item? Or do you allow for other people to take those items or take that best item, and you are okay with the scraps, or you are okay with not having the best? We are not to store up treasures here on earth. So there's many different ways to think about this. You can think about it as in being selfless in helping others, being selfless in your choices. Is it always about you? And I hear this a lot. It has to be about me. It has to be about me. I'm the only one that cares about me. Oh, really? The only one that cares about you is you. You know, I hear that saying a lot. And I'm always like, wait, did you see it? Did you see? Hold on, because my face, my face reveals a lot. Like, I'm like, the only one that cares about you is you. Like, where did I have a living God? Like, I have Jesus. Like, who are you referring to? So think about that. Think about even in this situation. Judah, complete 180 from being selfish, being ignorant, selling his brother, being like, oh, I can't stand him, to being remorseful, trying to take the place of his youngest brother, protecting his youngest brother. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind? He's thinking not only of his brother, but he's also thinking of his father. How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?